Hey everyone, and welcome to another weekly check-in vlog. And I'm about to travel. It's Thursday evening, and I'm just leaving work, heading to the train station, and going to Kiel. If it looks like I'm running away, it feels a little bit like that too. I made it to the hotel in Kiel, and it's Thursday evening, like I said. This is my weekly check-in vlog, where I usually want to check in how I'm doing with my life goals and reading goals, but this weekend I felt like getting out of town and took Friday off work to have a little bit of a break and to get more reading done, because I don't feel like I haven't been reading a lot lately. So I made it to Kiel. It's about 2.5 hours by train from Hanover to Kiel, so I spent some time with my audiobook listening to more of Words of Radiance, but since it's a little bit dense and many things happening, too many places, and I kept nodding off, I didn't listen the whole train ride, unfortunately. But there are still, I think, 17 or 18 hours left in the audiobook. I don't see myself finishing that this weekend, but that's okay. That's not the plan. The plan is to actually sit down with a physical book. I brought 2 books for the weekend. One novel and a short story collection. I have no idea what to expect from either of those, but I really would like to sit down with a physical book. I haven't been able to do that a lot on work days lately. I also brought my Kindle. I'm currently reading The Cabinet, and that's all I've been reading this week, but mostly I kept falling asleep, and every time I picked it up again, I was like, what is this about again? And I think it's stories of things that are somehow connected in a way later on, and they make sense. But so far I read one story about a city that was buried after a volcano eruption, and there was one prisoner surviving, and he wrote strange stories after his death. And it's a weird story. I don't really know what happened. Like, nothing happened, and there was no outcome other than it's all he knew, so things got distorted. And currently the second story I started is about people drinking gasoline. I was mostly asleep and confused and reading only paragraphs, which is not good for understanding books. So I hope this weekend to really sit down with books and calm down a little bit and just be away. Honestly, I think I ran away. If I had the money, I wouldn't go home or keep on running. Ooh. Let's have a quick room tour. Entering, there's a little hallway, and right to the right, there's the bathroom. Very small, tiny, but clean. Looks nice. Here's the shower. And then into the room. It's not very big, of course, but I like this. You can have a little couch lie in, look out the window. At another house. Just lucky me, on the other side of the house there is a river, but anyways. And there's a TV and the bed and a nice wall. Looks comfy. I spent a very long night in bed. Oh, that was good. I read a lot, slept a lot. That was nice. And I'm hungry now. So quickly updating you on The Cabinet. I read some more and now I understand it. The second chapter starts being narrated from a perspective of our narrator, Mr. Kong. And now in the chapters following, he explained how he got this job and what it is. So the Cabinet 13 is exactly that, a cabinet, the 13th in a row, and it contains a lot of files on strange behaviors and events in people. Basically, the idea is that humans are evolving into a new species. So the idea that his boss, Mr. Kwong, says is going to be Homo sapiens are going to be extinct at some point, and there's going to be a new species. And these are the first people showing up. They call them the symptomers because they have symptoms. And there was a story of someone who grew a ginkgo tree out of his pinky finger. I don't know how that worked. There's one where a woman's tongue turned into a lizard because she raised a baby lizard in her mouth and it ate the tongue. It's kind of weird.
It says in the introduction you have to suspend your belief and be open for things and not just be romantic about what you expect to happen or anything else. Where did I read that you shouldn't take anything too serious in this book? It's not scientific, so it's definitely fiction. I guess that. So I'm enjoying it. The tone of voice and narration is rather interesting, and I'm curious to see where this goes. As I said, I'm hungry, so now I have to go and find breakfast somewhere. There is a cafe that's selling breakfast in the hotel until 12, and it is 11:30, so I might not get much time there. And then I'm going to explore the town a bit and find somewhere else to read. I think I'm going to start Riddley Walker. That's what I'm going to take with me today. What a lovely day. I spent a lot of time walking around because as usual I was restless, but that gave me a lot of time to get my hair blown around by some sea breeze and really get a lot of sunshine and just movement in. And also a lot of listening time with Words of Radiance. I actually enjoy the second book in the Storm Archive much more than the first one. So that is a surprise to me. I also think I finally understand the whole thing a little bit better. It's mostly a war of species or races. There are the Parshmen and the humans are classified in different social categories and classes. And the Parshmen are confusing still to me, but there are also different forms they can take. And these two peoples are at war. But I don't really know why. There is something that happened in the past and the world looked different. It's mentioned and it keeps coming up, but I'm very much confused about that. So, the humans also, I don't really understand their society completely, especially the women. In this world, the women are reading and writing. It's a female thing. Men don't write and read. And that's okay-ish, I think. But what I don't get is something about the safe hand. Women have a safe hand that they always wear in a pouch. And if they're not high up in society, they may also wear them in gloves. But the higher society girls frown upon that. And I don't know. I don't even know what it means, this safe hand thing. The magic system, as far as I understand it, is based upon spheres, and they glow and are charged in storms. Basically, that's what they use to have light, and some people can draw energy from that and do something with that. You know, I'm halfway through the second book in the series, and I still don't understand it. I don't know if I'm too stupid for this, or if it's just so vague that nothing is clear yet. I really don't know. But what I have to say is that that's the thing that always surprises me with Brandon Sanderson books. How easy they are to listen to or read, and how easy they are to get into the world and the characters. They just take you along and you're inside this world. Even if you don't understand it, you're just feeling part of it. You can follow along. You're just moving forward without feeling lost. Even though I don't understand the full world, I can follow the story, I can follow the characters, I can keep them apart, and I can tell what they're doing. And all of that is fascinating. That fascinates me from the beginning with his books and his writing. I did not expect that. I don't know why, but that's just what happened. So that's what I did while I was walking around all over town. A little bit too much, a little bit maybe. Yeah, then I also did shopping breaks. I don't know why. I normally don't shop. I don't really buy things. But I passed a window and it had this little cup saying work-life challenge. And yeah, I need a new coffee cup. No, I don't. But this just feels very, very me right now. So I bought it. And I also wanted to have a new bag. More like, I saw this lovely bag and then I wanted to have it. So I have a new handbag, which is basically too small to use on everyday life. I may have needed a new bag, but a bigger one. Oops. Aside from that, I managed to DNF a book. I said I wanted to start Riddley Walker, and I did. This whole book is written in the most confusing way. It's broken English, it's written in broken English, so the whole thing, you really have to sound out the words. You cannot look at the writing, you have to sound them out to understand them. And I basically learned that when I had a dyslexic student who kept making spelling mistakes, and I only could understand the text that she wrote when I read them out loud. So I didn't read the words out loud, I was out in public, but sounding them out helped understand what they want to say. But I was focused so much on that none of the writing or the story made sense. It really didn't make its way towards a context or understanding that really described the story. I found out this is in that dystopian apocalyptic world after reading reviews, after DNFing it, after 20 pages. So I read 20 pages of this. I could follow what was happening, but I didn't know what was happening. Like, I understood it, but it didn't make any sense. It didn't tell me anything. And I also didn't really know where I'd wanted to go. I remember I bought this book because I knew it was experimental, and I usually like experimental books. And I didn't expect this. I didn't sample anything. I just heard someone talk about it, how great it was, and it gets praise everywhere for being very literary and very good. But like I said, the writing is different, and if that's what makes it good, I don't bother to finish it. I have given up on finishing books that are meant to be great, but I don't find great. It's okay if other people think this is great. Maybe it is great. English is my second language, and there's no looking at words if you don't understand what they say. So, not that I look up many words in the first place, but this is really a complicated story and not captivating. What I need right now is captivating stories. I need to be taken along. I need to be sucked in by what is happening. I need to care about anything, especially the characters. And this one, I'm just not in it. So I decided I'm not going to punish myself further. I tried it for 20 pages. I'm just going to leave it in the hotel here. They can give it to someone else. That's also decluttering books. Hey! It's 7 p.m. now, it's rather early, but I am going to crawl into bed and going to continue watching till the moon ends. Yeah, I started another C-drama. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm going to crawl into bed and do that for the rest of the day and then hopefully get a lot of sleep again. And that's Saturday gone already. I was out and about all day. This morning I started reading A Stroke of the Pen, the short stories by Terry Pratchett. These are short stories that were published in a newspaper under a different name back in the 70s when he was still a journalist. They are not connected to Discord or any other of his worlds. They are just other short stories practicing his writing and getting a skill there. I guess so. But reading them, I felt like coming home. It's always when I read Pratchett, his writing feels so familiar, so comfortable. And even though this was written before he was the Terry Pratchett that we knew, it was just still feels like his writing. I can't say if I would feel like this if I hadn't known that the writing is his, but knowing it, it just feels comfortable. And I am enjoying the short stories. They are more set in this world, but with a fantastic or magical twist to them. And yeah, there were 2 stories about Father Christmas already, and I think the next one coming up is about Christmas as well. I'm 60 pages in, and I wanted to read more afterwards, but I got distracted. Mostly by being restless and walking around and being drawn into the words of Radiance. I don't know what happened, but I couldn't stop listening. I was just walking around all day. I was enjoying the sunshine. It was a beautiful day. I was looking about and walking about, sitting and staring at the water and ships passing by, listening to words of Radiance. And I have 4 hours left now only. Maybe I can manage to finish this tomorrow or the day after. I'm very confused about what's going on here after fighting my way through book 1 in this series. This one just grabbed me. And currently I finished part 4. Yes, part 4. And the events at the end, I'm confused. One of the main characters might not be continuing on due to reasons what happened, and I really am confused what's going to happen here if there's a shift in characters. So captivating, very surprising. Now I'm gonna go to bed and watch some more till the moon ends and maybe read some more in the cabinet. Sunday morning I have to check out in a few minutes out of my hotel and go back to reality. I'm really glad I took the trip and ran away and took a time off not thinking about work and all the responsibilities I have that are currently kind of stressing me out. I'm very happy I could do this, and yeah, I know I'm lucky I can take a break of everything that worries me. One more update on reading, because I finished half of the cabinet by now. We're getting more of Dr. Kong and his personality and person in the stories and chapters coming along. Also different characters. And the more I read about him, the less I like him. He's kind of vulgar and self-centered and grumpy, so I don't really know. There's also the writing. I'm not 100% in love with the writing, and I don't know if it's just the edition I have, because some sentences are structured strangely. So it could be the translation, or it could be just bad editing in the ebook. I don't know. So that's something that's been bugging me a little bit, but I am still enjoying the stories and the concept of different people changing to a new species. A lot of it just sounds like what I'm doing this weekend, running away from reality. So maybe that's why I'm partly on their side. And I am heading down for checkout and breakfast now. My train leaves at 12 and it's about a 3-hour train ride. So my plan for today is actually to finish Words of Radiance. Like I said, I have somewhere between 4 and 5 hours left to listen to, and I think that's doable if I don't do anything else, and I can focus for the rest of the book as much or as well as I could yesterday, because yesterday I couldn't stop listening. So that's that, and I'll update you once I'm home and hopefully finished with the book. Home sweet home. I do look like a mess, I'm sorry. I managed to finish the rest of the Words of Radiance. I really enjoyed this, much more than The Way of Kings, the first book in the Stormlight Archive. The last part was full of action and twists and turns, some twists and turns, and it left a lot of confusion at the end. This series is way too confusing for me, but I am enjoying it, so that's good. I am going to continue sometime later. I need to listen to something else first, and yeah. Now it's the end of the weekend. I'm going to end the vlog here. Let me know in comments how your weekend was, what you've read, what you've done, anything exciting happened, any good book recommendations. Let's talk in comments. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.